Alright, welcome back everyone to some more Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Unfortunately this video is recorded a day in advance because, you know, we had our no-net day and we had all that good stuff, so a little bit off-kilter today. That's alright. Doesn't really matter. Most of the stuff I already know what I need to do today. I need to finish lair, I need to finish dungeon if I can, maybe get through orc if I have time, probably not. Yeah, I should be alright. Should be good to go. The character is pretty decent so far. Got some really sick mutations, and actually makes our it actually makes ice form legitimately worse than our regular form because we lose AC, which is pretty worthless. So ironically, it might actually be better for us to go blade hands in this particular character, if only because like ice form only gives us plus 10% HP. It's not as good as it should be. But, you know, it could be decent. I don't know. Haven't really thought about it too much yet. It's just an observation that I'm making. I mean, obviously Spider Form has its own merit. You can add an extra little bit of evade. It's not great, actually. It's only 4 evade. But, you know, it does give you the poison branded attack, which is not too bad. Everything else is meh. I can use Ice Form for... Oh, shit on my butt. What the hell? Let's go ahead and triple draw. No, we don't have enough invo for this. Shit. This is pretty bad. Can we confuse him? What's the confuse rate on this guy? 62%. Alright, let's just confuse him and run away, I guess. That was my bad. I completely forgot that I had no health. Alright, one sec. Alright, we fucked up because I just realized we didn't train any invocations. I think we just put it off for too long. I'm turning transmutations off. That's actually not necessary anymore. Ice Form, I just realized, like I said, is not incredibly good. Getting invo up is much more important at this point. I was trying to use triple draw, which will let me draw 3 cards instantly from a deck. Oh, sorry, it lets me draw 1 of 3, which would give me a guaranteed good one. Or I could have dealt 4, which would draw 4 and use all of them. In that scenario against the Spiny Toad, but then I forgot that I didn't have enough invocations to actually cast it. So, you know, it wasn't great. That's alright. We'll have to make do with what we got. I should be spamming Confuse, though. Definitely should be spamming Confuse. And Confusing Touch if enemies are in melee with me. Confuse is good because it's ranged. Confusing Touch is good because it's slightly more effective once it actually gets to land. I do have to be in melee with stuff, but it is usually worth it for me to try at least confusing something 1 or 2 times before engaging it, especially if it's a 10-speed enemy. Alright, there we go. So Confusing Touch, you have to actually land a hit, so in that case there I actually missed twice, which is why you saw me just kind of take 1 billion damage, do nothing, and then not confuse him, even though I had Confusing Touch up. Alright, probably a waste of time to confuse and then Confusing Touch, but you know, that's... What are you gonna do, right? Alright, cast the Confuse, just over and over again, stand here. Yeah, the Confuse definitely makes this fight a lot, like these fights in lair a lot easier. It does cost a lot of my mana though. I'm gonna go ahead and summon some stuff right now. I am in a bit of a scary spot. There's a couple of vampire mosquitoes in my way, but that's okay. I can mostly run away from them. I'm pretty sure that the bad mosquitoes will dissipate pretty quick anyway. I don't know if they have a faster decay timer, as compared to my allied mosquitoes, but you know, it's fine either way. Honestly, as long as I have enough guys, it's usually like it usually doesn't really matter that much whether or not I draw allies and enemies or just pure allies. As long as I am willing to walk away a couple of tiles, most of the time the infighting is enough of a distraction to just let me leave anyway. Alright, Confuse is really doing some good work now. I should have definitely used it last game. Kind of forgot that I had it. Looking at all the shiny transmutations, but as per the usual, didn't take my own advice. The transmutations tends to be the worst part about Transmuter. You generally just want to play unarmed combat. And in Felid's case, you just want to play unarmed combat and stealth and hexes. Apologize if sometimes it sounds like I'm slurring my words. I actually cut the... I don't know how I did this, but I like slashed the top half of my gums, of my mouth. The roof of my mouth, basically. Oh, that was a good stab. Ooh, never mind. Yummy. So it is really painful to talk for some reason. I don't know why I did it. I don't know how I did it. I had some hot sauce today that was like what flavor was it? It was like Carolina Reaper hot sauce or something like that. It was pretty good, but it burned the shit out of my mouth. I can't taste anything anymore. It wasn't actually that bad, but I definitely was in a lot of pain for a little while. So you know, I don't know if that's when I cut my mouth from just like biting down too hard or something, but yeah, it hurts a lot. Anyway, continuing on, I trained Dex because we have enough int at this point, and Dex is going to help us get a little bit more dodge and a bit more stealth. It's not a huge consideration to make at this point. Strength is probably not going to be trained at all. There's no real point. Unless I want to increase my damage, but that seems a little bit too marginal for me to even worry about. It seems like even if I add all the strength in, the damage that I get from it is so small that it's just not worth it. Another book, Ensorcelled Hibernation, is a really good one for us. Hexes is really good. Shadow Creatures is a nice one for summoning. Bolganjaw's Vile Clutch is also really cool, but obviously that's a little bit expensive for our tastes. I think for the time being, Ensorcelled Hibernation will be an excellent starter. We can probably then... Ooh, another deck. Cool. We can probably then move on and grab some summoning, and then probably end the game as either a summoner or a full Transmuter. I don't know what the best route is for this character. I mean, obviously Transmuter is the one we want to go for, but if we don't get a choice, we're just going to have to move past it. I don't think it's really worthwhile for this character to try to stick to a game plan. Weaker characters tend to want to be a bit more flexible with the way they deal with their game, so, you know. Holy shit, I took so much damage. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to run here a little bit. Maybe fight that guy a little bit just so I don't die. Oh, okay. Had to pull the Komodo Dragon up. Didn't manage to get a free space, even though I moved like 20 tiles. Okay, interesting. But he's confused, so it doesn't matter. Oh man, I really want to get rid of a spell just to. I mean, I guess I could amnesia the level 1 beastly appendages. That's pretty worthless at this point. It's gonna give me access to Ensorcelled Hibernation, which is really good to have. I usually have Ensorcelled on A though, so is that probably better? I don't know. I think that might be better than just having. Yeah, okay. Let's just have Confuse on E then. Ensorcelled is slightly stronger, since it creates a paralysis stab, meaning it does more. Your stab does more damage. It also. Holy fucking god! Whoops. L, you fucking L. Felid, am I right? Hey. I thought I could stab him. I didn't realize that he woke up. He just instantly fucking killed me. Nice. Good thing I didn't get one shot there. That would have been pretty depressing. Alright. Confuse should be on B now. Now I've switched to my enchanter like layout, so I gotta get used to this. Gonna cast some summoning shit here. Gonna get more summoning, I guess. More summoning. Alright. There's a lot of bees that are like not friendly, but that's okay, mostly. Another ally. Gonna just confusing touch there, just to avoid taking too much damage from the bee. So against this enemy, against a Hydra, we can just kind of run around, kite him down, wait for Ensorcelled Hibernation to run amok, and then just kill him. Or we can just use like wands. Either way works, pretty much. Centaur's gonna be a bit of an issue because he's just gonna be shooting the shit out of me. I need to probably kill him quickly. I actually stood in LOS of a. Oh, sorry, stood in melee with the Hydra there, so. Could have easily died. Probably should have paid more attention to that, to be honest. Alright. Oh yeah, so Doom RL. I talked about that a little bit yesterday, but I obviously didn't upload the video at the time. It's been uploaded. Looks like you guys have been... The reception has been very positive. So I would like to put that into the into the running for like another game to play, but we'll see how the metrics go. If number 1 gets like over 250 views, I'll probably go ahead and just do a number 2 at some point this week or next week, or maybe once I finish this series. It could be that the Doom RL like game just ends up being the filler video for the week, I guess. So if I like, oh fuck, I need to run away from Josephine. All my summons just take care of them. So for example, if I have like a series that ends on Saturday, or on Friday, sorry, and I know for a fact that Darkest Dungeon Saturdays is going to happen, so obviously I don't really want to start a new series. I could just like chuck in a nice free Doom RL video on the Saturday, and that means that, you know, obviously I don't have to restart the entire fucking series on part 1 with Crawl on the Saturday, and then do the Darkest Dungeon video, and then do part 2, because that seems kind of awkward. So instead I could just do a Doom RL one-off video every so often. I mean, Doom RL is definitely a game that is really interesting, and it's very straightforward to play. From what I can tell, I've got a fairly good grasp of the mechanics now, as is. There are a couple of things that I'm missing right now. Like, apparently there's recipes in that game. I need to learn how to do that. But once I do that, it's pretty much done. Like, Doom RL is pretty basic. It's a coffee break roguelike, meaning it's meant to be won in like 45 minutes or less, really. And given how fast I play, this could go down to like 30 minutes or 20 easily. So, you know, depending on how I play, could easily be a very quick speedrun game. Not even speedrun, just like I could finish a run in a single video, which could be pretty good. I'd have to get good at the game first, but, you know, learning process and all that. I mean, I'm quite happy that Darkest Dungeon is as good as it has been. I really stuck with it. I really... Oh, Ring of Shadows. Okay, I'll put that on. Let's see what this shiny steel ring is first. Okay, that's garbage. But this Ring of Shadows, pretty good. It gives me Umbra, gives me a bit of stealth, gives me invisibility on tap, if I'm so inclined to train evocations. Not really too fussed about that just right now, but that could definitely be an option. Having free invisibility in the middle of the game would be pretty useful for a Felid, and the cost of Evo is not too bad. +1 evocations on Felid makes it pretty decent. So I could very easily see myself, you know, running through... wait, I was going to talk about Darkest Dungeon, and then I started talking about Felid, the Ring of the Umbra. I could see myself picking up evocations and just running with it, seeing how things go. So, you know, it could be really good, depending... Like, invisibility is really broken in this game. Having it on tap is pretty good. So, you know, you never know. Might very well be awesome. Also, the Ring of Umbra seems to be reducing a lot of the damage I take already, by cutting accuracy down on enemies, which is really good. That's definitely one of the worst bits about Felid. You have to have a lot of evade, otherwise you just get shit on. Alright, getting a microcosm of lag here. That's just an absolute modicum. Alright, gonna pull the Spiny Toad up, ensorcel him, then probably go down a different staircase at this point. Yeah, as per Doom RL, or regarding Doom RL, I would say that it's a lot of fun, and I would love to do another video at some point, so I probably will. Ow, got a little bit shit on there. It's okay. Understandable. Gonna go find the... Oh, man. Okay, so there's an elephant pack, a lindworm, just a bunch of shit. It's not good. Let's go ahead and just start summoning stuff from our deck. Pull back into a corner here. Let everyone fight the lindworm, and then fight these elephants while I just kind of watch. I don't really want to be too involved in the fighting in case I get shot or killed by some random thing. It's probably not a good idea. I gotta be pretty careful with how I fight on this floor. I know that already there's a Death Yak pack. I know for a fact that that vault is gonna be annoying. The vault that we're seeing up there, I think it's the one with the Guardian Serpent, so that's gonna be real pain in the ass if I get surrounded by spiders all of a sudden. It's gonna just not be great, so want to avoid that if possible. Had 1 mana left over. Confusing Touch, pretty good. Decent. That's all I can say. Oh, look at that. Even Confusing Touch even killed the Torpor Snail. It's pretty decent. Alright, gonna have to run away here. That was a lot of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my Ring of Fire here. Draw from the deck of Summoning, and just kind of have them fight over each other. I'm gonna pull away. I need to try to get that Lindworm by himself. Lindworms do a surprisingly high amount of damage, and by surprisingly high amount of damage, I mean completely, understandably high amounts of damage. It's pretty ridiculous. Let's just Confusing Touch both these guys. Gotta remember that that's an option. Like, it's really good, Confusing Touch. Okay, Confuse the Guardian Serpent. That's gonna make it so that he can't blink that wolf spider towards me. Probably draw from the deck of Summoning, the plain one. Plain is more likely to have kind of worse effects and inferior effects, I think. So it's good for me to just use it on fights that are pretty trivial, but are just a pain in the ass. because it means that we can basically just, yeah, have this position here where we're kind of not really giving a shit about our summons. It's not an important set of summons, I guess. And I guess we can draw from decks that are really low. Wow, we drew 12 cards from that deck, and we just crushed that Death Yak pack. Again, the power of Nemelex is just really obvious and plain to see in this case. This deck of summoning just absolutely crushed an entire fight by itself. I didn't do anything. Like, I really didn't have to play there. So against any non-trivial fight, and then against every pack enemy, it's just, the deck of summoning just crushes things. It's actually ridiculous how strong it is. At least at this stage in the game. Later on, it'll be slightly less powerful, but with high invo, it's still pretty damn good. I mean, I don't think there's a situation where you're gonna say, oh shit, a Panlord's not strong enough to fucking fight these guys, right? It doesn't seem like that's reasonable. I'm gonna go ahead and confuse there. I accidentally messed up Confusing Touch. I stabbed him with the Confusing Touch while he was in Sorcerer, and then he woke up. I think he was sleepwalking, actually. It could have been. No, I think that's not true. No. I think he woke up. Pretty sure. Anyway, unarmed combat at level 15, dodging at 10, invocations at 6, that's pretty good. Probably want to turn on some spellcasting at some point, not right now. Evocations wants to be trained at some point, stealth wants to be trained at some point. I don't know how high I want dodging to be. I don't think dodging is super important in this game right now, since I'm pretty much playing a mage at this point with very few... Ah, shit, whoops. Kind of messed that up a little bit. Gonna pull up. Gonna have to pull away. I didn't realize there would be a second Guardian Serpent. Usually there's only one on that floor, on that vault, so I must have just found a second vault with another Guardian Serpent. That's pretty unlucky. That's okay though. We'll deal with it. We're just gonna try to pull away from the Guardian Serpent. Having them blink around me is a pretty good way to get one shot, so I want to avoid that wherever possible. As you can see, with 27 evade and the Umbra thing, we're actually very tanky. Or at least we can survive direct combat with more than one Yak, which is pretty impressive. Definitely, I would say it's actually very impressive for a Felid. That's pretty good. To fight a Death Yak pack, to fight a regular pack of Yaks at this stage in the game, doing all right. All right, I don't know which one's real. That's fake. Oh my god, my Umbra. That was an interesting graphical glitch. Okay, got some more scrolls of teleportation. That's really nice to have. Another deck. Thank you very much. Gonna sleep him. If I get acquirement, that'd be good. Enchant armor's not incredibly important for this character, obviously. Don't have any armor. It's alright though. Wow, we actually cleared layer 6. That's a first. That's legitimately gonna... I'm gonna say that right now. That's a first. Wait, what the hell? Confusing Touch. Oh, I must have caps lock on. There we go. I was like, why the fuck is my Confusing Touch not working? I know it's on ZE. Don't lie to me. We need to teleport here. Just because that's too much of a pain in the ass to fight. Let's just leave. No reason for me to fight that fight. Like, the gains for that was so low, there was no point. Alright, so I think I'm going to drop the Ring of Magical Power, and I'm going to ditch the idea of the Guardian Spirit. If I had a worse right-hand ring, I'd probably attempt that strategy, but I think at this point, I'll just train some spellcasting, and it'll be good. I also need to drop some decks. They're starting to get a little bit cluttered in my deck, in my inventory. What I like to do is I like to drop all the full decks that are kind of worthless, or not quite as good. I try to keep it so that I have some decks of summoning on hand, but also some decks of summoning in my stash. And that helps me just kind of level out the playing field for the power spikes that Nemelex gives. Nemelex tends to be a god that sort of feels like he falls off in the mid-late game because he runs out of decks. If you had infinity decks with Nemelex, he'd be probably unquestionably the strongest god in the game, just because of how stupid broken he'd be. But obviously, because of the way that gifting works... Oh, let's see what we got. 6 Scrolls of Blinking. Go fuck yourself, mate. I'm not doing that. That's a waste of time. I'm not going to trade 6 Blinking Scrolls for a treasure trove. Anyway. So, I don't think... I feel like hoarding, while it feels like a degenerate tactic on Nemelex, it actually is pretty legitimate as a way of managing your inventory and stuff. A lot of complaints about people... that people have about Nemelex is the fact that inventory management is a pain in the ass. When in reality, I believe that, holy fuck. Whoops. Let's file a Floods here, so he doesn't one-shot me, maybe. Can you see invisible, my friend? If I pull down, are you gonna kill me? Let's put the fire resistance on right now, so he doesn't accidentally kill me. Can I hex you? I can actually. Wow. Okay. Didn't even realize Afrits could be hexed. I thought they were immune to magic. Anyway, that was a bit scary. Just randomly getting fucked for like more than half your health. I mean, that's fairly like common as a Felid, but you know, I wasn't expecting on this character who was so strong. But that's fair enough. That's understandable. Just needed to be a bit careful about how I dealt with that position. Ooh, this is also a pretty scary spot. Ooh, okay, he woke up. Interesting. What was I talking about? I actually forgot completely. Yeah, Nemelex, like, the main complaint people have about Nemelex is that he's fiddly. The reality is, like, everything in this game is fiddly. And, wow, really? What the fuck? Holy shit, this fucking centaur, man. He's loaded. What the hell? Wait, did I just quaff a potion on my accidentally? Damn it. God damn it. Alright, fine. Yeah, like, the best way to play Nem is just understand that you're gonna have to do some inventory management. He's a god that, like, literally costs 10 slots. There's nothing you can do about it. Wow. That's convenient. What the fuck? Alright, that's really convenient. Alright, sure. So the Book of Transfiguration is gonna give me Hydra form, statue form, and all that good shit. But I think, yeah, spatial translocation is also really tempting because it gives me blink, which is really good. One sec. Sorry about that. Had to sneeze. So I'm gonna pick up the Book of Transmutations first. So let's just see how that where that gets us. Let's see. So statue form is at 95%. Dragon form is at 89%. So if I start training Earth and whatever now, I can probably get a pretty decent situation going, right? I mean, I can turn invocations off, just assume that I'm not going to use too much Nemelec stuff, and just keep going with that. But the problem is, like, everything needs to be trained at the same time, which is really frustrating. That's kind of the problem with Transmuter. Even though Felid has limited options and all that shit, I mean, we're literally going into every possible option for Felid, right? We're doing transmutations, we're doing hexes, we're doing invocations, we're doing evocations, we're doing dodge, we're doing fighting, and we're doing, like, all that other good shit as well on top. So it's like, we are still really low on EXP in terms of actual, like, distributable EXP. So I might have to just give up on some stuff. I don't know what I'm going to give up on, though. I know for a fact that unarmed combat and fighting are pretty much unacceptable to get rid of. Maybe unarmed combat can go off when it's at 20, and that'll be my gateway into spellcasting transmutations. I do need some stealth, I do need some dodging, I do need some earth magic at some point, probably to get statue form online. I don't know if statue form is better or if dragon form is better. Dragon form is going to give me a lot more HP, statue form is going to give me a lot more AC. I know statue form makes me really strong, but I just don't know if that's, like, worth it for me to rush at this point. I mean, obviously there's going to be, like, fanboys that are like, oh my god, you have to rush statue form, but that's not, like, let's be real here. Let's be, like, objective. It might not be the best option. It might be the best option, it might not be. I don't think it's worth rushing at this point. I think by the time we get to 1 rune, it's probably a really great option to have, since it turns us into a mini gargoyle. Obviously it's slow gargoyle, but a gargoyle nonetheless. Which is effectively broken, but, you know, there are definitely considerations we have to make regarding the rest of our slots, right? We can't just blindly rush for something. It's often a foolish idea to just blind rush for something, especially when this character is so reliant on all the other shit that keeps him alive, like his unarmed combat and whatnot. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I'll have to see. All right, I was gonna go for a sneaky stab there, didn't work. Let's use the Plain Dagger Destruction. All right, the 6 Verhi is there. Gonna have to run away. Unfortunate that we drew a bad one. Alright, Armor Shop, lol. That's definitely going to be useful for this character, right? Hey! Can we just confusing... Oh, we can just confusing touch him. Oh, nice. That's actually much easier for us. Potions of Curing, always good to have. Extra HP is always good. Disintegration, no. Don't need that. So I think for this character, I want to pick that Blink up, definitely, from the Translocations book that we found. It's a very expensive level 2 spell. 1,000 gold, but it might be worth it just because Blink is so damn good. Maybe Blink isn't that good. I mean, it's almost mandatory on a lot of weaker mages. But maybe this character can just get away with the fact that he's a little fast. So, you know, maybe he's, like, too good for you. You know, I don't know. I don't think that's the case, but maybe it is. I'm just going to put these items on my shopping list. They're not important enough for me to really buy right now, but they're definitely a good addition to have later on. Can I confuse you? Yes, I can. Awesome. Confusion doesn't work on MR. It works based on hit dice, meaning I can hit most stuff and just confuse the shit out of it. Really good. Alright, so these guys are still capable of one-shotting me, meaning I should try to be a bit cautious about how I approach them. Oh, that was right next to what I didn't want it. That was not what I wanted. Alright, fine. Like, I can just keep kiting them forever, pretty much. If need be. Or I can just confuse them, I guess. Confuse being a level 3 spell and single school means that we do get a lot more spell power out of it for our money. But, you know, Ensorcelled is always nicer to use in most scenarios where you can reliably get an Ensorcel off. And, of course, Confusing Touch is technically the best position, or it's the best thing you can use, since it affects a lot of things, and you can also apply it just by touching stuff, and it doesn't check MR, but it's still, you know, you have to get in melee with stuff. It's definitely got its own problems. Let's use a Deck of Destruction here. Try to create a little distraction or something. I mean, destruction can definitely just kill things straight up, so, you know, like, so for example over here I can just use the plain Deck of Destruction, throw some Vitriol or some shit, and just kind of mess around with stuff. Confusing Touch, very useful, again. Ow, forgot that am Felid. Definitely need to remember that I'm a Felid. Yep, that's a thing that I am. Can't avoid that. Doesn't matter how strong you are. If you're a Felid, you're scared. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You should just be scared. As a general, like, rule of thumb. Being afraid is good. It keeps you alive. Oh, I have the mic in a very different position than I normally do, so I apologize if the keyboard is too loud. I usually try to keep it a little bit further away than my mouth, but I don't know. I've been moving my fight stick around so much that, like, the mic just kind of shifts on its own. It's kind of just doing its own thing. Like, I move it based on where I need to put my fight stick. My fight stick is always on my desk nowadays because I play Skullgirls, like, literally every day. I don't know why I do that, but I just do. And, you know, based on what game I'm playing, I have to have a different setup, right? I have keyboard, mouse, I have an Xbox 360 controller if I need it. Okay, I need to actually dig here to avoid... You fucker. I dug to make myself room, to stop myself from getting boxed in by the Necromancer, and then he immediately walks into the hole. What a prick. Alright, Soulsword Hibernation, successful. There we go. Only took 25 tries. 19% full of shit. When it says 19%, it really means... Oh, really? Wow, okay, that's gonna happen. This is really happening to me, I guess. I'm gonna teleport here. Hopefully I don't get one shot. There we go. Nice. You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and just shoot you with my stuff. Yeah. How do you feel now, idiot? Holy shit. Apparently quite good. Please don't one-shot me with your lightning bolts. God damn. That's really rough. These elves, not fun to fight at all. Don't want to fight the Cyclops. He's gonna kill me. Ow. That actually, like, did more than 50% of my life. Damn it. Let's just start summoning some stuff. There's a Helving there. That's fine. I just need a couple of guys to kind of block the Cyclops attack. Get Confusing Touch on that Frost Wraith. 48% to confuse an elf. Not bad. Managed to kill it. Still does a lot of damage, though. Pretty rough. Wow, 7% confusion on the Dire Elephant. More like 100%. Wow, that was incredible. Damn, that was impressive. Alright. Just gonna have to go ahead and confuse. Alright, let's see what Dragon Form's at now. So, Hydra Form's at 16% fail. That's pretty good. Dragon Form's gone down to 63%, and Statue Form is at 83%. I I guess I'll learn statue form for the time being, and that'll help me kind of push my way into earth magic at some point. I guess I'll train it now. This could give us access. This could give us access to Borgunjo's Vile Clutch, which could also be a really interesting consideration to make as well. But yeah, that's gonna leave it here for today. It's been 30 minutes. I know these are kind of short, but I'm recording these on the days of work, so I'm like completely busted on these days, and I'm just kind of trying to create the content so that through the rest of the week I can do my work and shit. So there's a lot of work from my uni as well, based on which courses I picked. I picked the mathematics-based economics ones, so yeah, there's a lot of shit that I have to get done. It's only week 2. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. If you liked Doom RL, you should let me know. Like I said, love the support. If it really does do well, I will very strongly consider doing it more consistently. But for the time being, I think I'll put it in the like filler slot, just because I know I can play it whenever I want, and there's not really any progression that I need to do, since most games will end within the session. And it's just a fun game. Hooray. Anyway, thanks again. I'll see you all tomorrow.